programme is called Something for the Weekend. It has been created and produced by Dave Clark. It is a How production for Sound Art Radio. Right. So the old crows in the background. Rooks. Always get that wrong. I think I say crows because they sound like crows. Yep, so back in the old car. Always a good sign. So yeah, this is shaping up, I reckon, to be a bit of a cracker. So today we're going to go over to Torquay. We're going to turn left on the Milk Bottle Road. So if you're local, you'll know where that is, and if you're not, and you're ever driving through Torquay, you'll know what I'm talking about. But today we're going to go and see Sarah, who is very much involved with the Bijou Theatre. And we're going to meet, hopefully, a lot of people who are also working with Sarah on a rehearsal. And we're going to find out a little bit about the theatre, what they do, and the people behind it. And, you know, this is kind of their weekend. They've all got day jobs, and during the weekend, this is what they do. And it takes up a lot of their time, so very dedicated people. So hopefully we're going to talk to Jill, who's the owner. We've got Chris, who's the production manager. Angela, who looks after the props, Maureen, who's the theatre manager, Roger, the set designer. That's going to be interesting. We've arrived. We've found a little parking place. So let's go and have a look, see where we are. Parked a little way away. Somebody getting their car cleaned by a mobile car valet company. What's the matter with just getting out there and doing it yourself? So here we are, outside the church. We're going to try the door. I don't know whether this is going to work. No. Ah, church hall entrance. That might be it. Let's try this one. Yes. Lordy.
It was just suddenly when I said the line, it suddenly clicked and it was like, well, why does he keep... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Sorry.
So this was on the O, but Mr. Owen isn't coming down?
Yeah, when Armstrong goes off.
Sorry, hello.
Hi. You alright?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah.
This is, everyone, as I said, this is the lovely David.
Hi, hello everybody. Hello, hi. Pleased to meet you.
That's all. She'll be round in a minute. Get some brandy.
Rogers, get some brandy.
Who's that? It's Tony.
What's going on here? What kind of practical joke is that?
Tell me that voice come from.
That's a list of guests that was expected, if that's any help to you.
Oh right, okay.
Apart from William Law, who's acting a part at the moment, he's acting Davis. But he's.
Oh right, okay. So who are all are these people all here? Are they?
These are the guests that they're expecting on the island.
Oh, I see.
And then you've got Mr. and Mrs. Rogers.
Mr. and Mrs. Rogers.
Who
Okay.
are looking after the place.
Nice.
Those are the only people.
So we're on Soldier Island now, are we?
Yes.
When you talk about people, you talk about them by their cast name, do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
David.
so is Mr. Justice Wargrave here?
Yes.
Some really good days.
Hello.
Nice.
And Captain Lombard?
Yeah.
Oh, Captain Lombard. Yeah, pleased to meet you. Hello. Yeah, I'm Dave.
Dan, nice to meet you.
Dave, actually, but I'm Dave. Yeah, I'm Dave. You're Captain Lombard.
I am.
Is that right? Yeah. No, my name is really Dave.
It's really Dave.
Yeah. In real life.
Got Miss Brent.
Miss Brent. Oh yeah, Emily.
Emily Brent.
Yes.
Dr. Armstrong.
Dr. Armstrong. Yeah, I presume. Hello.
And that's Mr. and Mrs. Rogers.
Mr. and Mrs.
Rogers. They're not on the list because they're looking after the place.
Oh, okay.
They're the servants.
The servants, and they don't get.
She does the cooking and he does
Okay. So they're down. They're in the lower basement.
Downstairs.
Yeah. Or are they upstairs? Come on.
Well,
And both upstairs, downstairs. Yeah. Okay.
And that's General Mackenzie.
General Mackenzie. Pleased to meet you.
Did I faint?
Yes, you had a nasty nasty turn, that's all. Now, where's that brandy?
Oh, yeah.
Here, Mrs. Rogers, drink this.
It was that voice.
I'm Chris Mackenzie-Thorpe. I'm playing General Mackenzie.
Oh, okay. General Mackenzie. So let's talk about you as a real person.
Yes.
Oh, can you do that? Can you say? Yeah. Okay. So what's your role with the theatre?
As far as the company's concerned,
Yeah.
I'm the technical manager of the company.
Okay.
I stage manage quite a lot of productions and do other bits, and then I act in a few.
Right.
And I've been with them. I've just worked out 25 years.
Okay. Gosh. So what's the job spec of a technical manager? What do you?
Running the show.
Okay.
That's the main thing. But aside from that, if I'm not stage manager of the show, then I will help to get I help to build the sets. I don't design them. We have a set design. I help to build the sets. I liaise with the technical manager of the theatre with the lighting and the sound effects.
So what's the most sort of challenging part of the technical production? What's the lighting or the sound or what?
Depends on the show.
Okay.
Very much depends on the show. The last show we did was fast. The lighting was switch them on at the beginning and switch them off at the end.
Okay, so that can be challenging if you forgot.
But the sound on that was very complex because the typical fast with 2 houses, 3 different telephone bells, a continuously ringing doorbell.
Okay.
So and then you'll get another show when there's very little sound, but the lighting is there's not very much sound effects in this, a few, but the lighting is going to be quite dramatic.
And what about, tell me a little bit about the character. So just remind me, was that
General Mackenzie? He's highly civil because I think I'm the oldest member of the company, and he's probably the oldest character in the play.
Okay.
And it's basically set sort of in the 30s time.
Yeah.
Therefore, his sphere of activity as a general was the First World War.
Right. Okay.
And like all the other characters, he's got something about him that happened. In this case, it happened in the war when one of his officers was killed.
Uh-huh.
And the question was as to who was responsible.
So they all have a little secret.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. He's supposed to be a kindly old duffer, I suppose.
Kindly old duffer.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you find that an easy part to play?
Mrs. Rogers will be all right. I've given her a scent.
Now then, Doctor, you want a drink after all this?
No, thank you. I don't touch it.
You have that one, General. Now then, Rogers, we must get to the bottom of this. Tell me what you know about Mr. Rowan.
Well, he owns this place, sir.
I'm aware of that fact. What I wish to know is what you yourself know about the man.
I can't say so. You see, I've never seen him.
Hello.
I was told to come and introduce myself.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, because I'm Wendy Caplan. I
Hi, Wendy.
co-run the Bijou.
Yeah. Right. Oh gosh. Well, pleased to meet you. I'm Dave.
Hello.
And
I'm company manager.
you're company manager.
Yes.
Okay. You're not
An actor.
You're not an actor. What about an actor? Do people use the word actress anymore?
It tends to be actor today, whether you're male or female.
Why is that then?
I don't know.
It sort of fell out of polls, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did though, didn't it? Because I mean, it always used to be an actress.
I know.
Interesting. So what does that entail? I mean, that sounds like a...
Just keeping an eye on the actual general running of the company, the welfare of the idiots in there.
Yes.
And, I also have a toe in the marketing field.
Okay.
I run the company with Jill, who owns it. I've been involved in amateur theatre for ages and done some professional work as well.
Okay.
Came down here in the 70s and I joined Bijou when they had its own original little theatre.
Okay.
And basically been with it ever since.
What are the key things that you have to do?
What, for this company?
Yes.
Casting, choosing directors, looking at plays, deciding when the publicity goes out, generally keeping a finger on the pulse.
Yeah. So it's basically almost every aspect of the production and the people.
I don't direct.
No.
I never have. I used to act. Don't do that anymore. So really, yes.
What do you find the most enjoyable part of that then?
I just love the whole buzz of it. I love the whole getting. It's all enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, that sounds brilliant. Do you put on like a matinee and an evening performance? Or
No,
is it...
I've tried matinees. We've tried it, and all you do is to split the Saturday night house.
I
You
bet.
don't. And there's no parking on a Saturday
No.
where the theatre is.
Right.
And they just don't turn up.
Well, because they've got other things to do, haven't
They
they?
don't work.
I mean, I think matinees are great, but it's a different type of. You're in a different zone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Really, in your head.
Oh, I'm not a matinee person. I mean,
No.
I've been to them, but
It's a bit of a sort of. I've been to a few matinees, and I felt like I'm sort of cheating on life a bit.
yeah, that's right.
I feel like I'm ducking out for it.
Yeah.
Then you come out in the sort of you
Bright
come out-
daylight, and you think,
Yeah, you think it should be dark,
yeah, yeah.
and I should be sort of heading off for a nightcap before
Yeah,
going to bed.
yeah.
But actually, it's only 5 o'clock.
That's
People
right.
Just coming out of work. Boots is still open. Bit weird, isn't it? Do you take your productions elsewhere then?
We used to go over to the Flayball with the Agatha.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But it cost us so much because of the taking the set over.
Yeah.
It's such a performance over there, really. It's just not worth it.
Such a performance.
Miss Brett,
I have nothing to say.
you nothing?
Nothing.
You reserve your defence?
There's no question of defence. I have always acted according to the dictates of my conscience.
The law-abiding law we seem to be. Myself, except.
Can you throw me a line and I'll just do like one line?
Yeah.
With somebody here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm now made myself super nervous.
Okay. Yeah. So you want to do like a couple of lines, like with with someone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like maybe one line.
Maybe one line.
Well, we'll see how I get on, shall we? Like a word would be good to start off with.
Just a word. Just a word. Yes, I can find a bit for you to do that with. Let's see what's. Yeah, we've got the housekeeper, Mr. Rogers. We've got Captain Lombard, the dashing hero, kind of.
Well, I think maybe. I mean, yeah, I can't be too dashing straight away. Okay, I'll do the undercover.
Undercover copper, page 36. Dan will read you in from I Know South Africa and Natal Well. Okay. And then ignore this bit here where I'm scribbling because that's stage directions, and then you can do your line. Okay.
So I say, you gentlemen have got me wrong. I'm an ex-CID man. Oh, a copper. I've got my credentials and I can prove it. I run a detective agency in Plymouth. I was put onto this job.
Yeah,
like that.
that's it.
Got the job. Okay, so you claim to have come from Natal, South Africa. I know South Africa and Natal well, and I'm prepared to swear that you've never stepped foot there in your life.
You gentlemen have got me wrong. I'm an ex-CID man.
Oh, copper.
I've got my credentials and I can prove it. I run a detective agency in Plymouth. I was put onto this job.
By whom?
Why? Mr. Owen sent a very nice money order for expenses and I said I was to join the house party, posing as a guest. He also sent a list of all your names and said I was to keep an eye on you all.
Any reason given?
Said Mrs. Owen had got some valuable jewels. Mrs. Owen, my foot. I don't believe there's any such person. Thank you. So how long have you been directing the Bijou productions?
This is my first one.
Okay, no, I really didn't know that actually.
Yeah, this is my first one. I've performed in the Agathas for many, many years.
Right.
I started, I think my first one was a production called Spider's Web.
Okay.
Which I played the little girl in it, Pippa Hailsham-Brown. And then actually what was quite nice, I recently, when we did it again, I came back and played Clarissa Hailsham-Brown, which is the stepmother. So I've managed to transition from little girl to the stepmother in that, which was really nice. So I started doing that.
So how do you sort of transition from playing a role into directing? I mean,
I think for me, I go into it with an actor's kind of point of view in mind.
Okay.
So it's going to sound really strange, but I have kind of like a sense, like an inner feeling of what I would kind of want that character to do and how I'd want that character to come across, or little sort of things like gestures and things that I think would work nicely, or
Yeah.
when I feel that they should move.
Yes.
And that's something that I think is really nice to have from being an actor and performing.
Yeah.
Because you've got a connection with how that's going to translate on stage. Rather, and I know that there's some directors that probably have never set foot on stage themselves, but they can clearly see the vision.
Right.
I think that helps me to transition.
So how are you finding it? And the actual...
I'm loving it, absolutely loving it.
Okay.
I've got a wonderful cast that I'm working with. I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah.
They're all bringing so much to the table. They're listening to sort of like my ideas, but as I say, working quite organically in that sort of sense as well, that we can sort of go, oh, actually, can I try it like this? And I'll go, yeah, give it a go. And so, like, Yvonne's come in and tried some different accents, and we've had discussions about that. I mean, I've got her playing her character quite differently to, I think, of how it's normally portrayed.
Right.
In the sense that I've asked her to be northern for a starter, which Emily Brent normally isn't played northern. Quite hard, and I've got her in my vision dress-wise as it's quite mannish in a way, in the sense of things like she's going to be wearing like a dinner suit down to the evening, but with like a statement necklace and like a lady's statement cummerbund, that type of thing. So she's quite ahead of her time. But, you know, you've had the suffragette movement, and it's kind of rolling on the back of that, you know, the women's rights, you know, she's sort of coming in with like, I can do anything a man can do, if not even better. And it's a nice element to bring in, because when she's written, you can play them very, very straight, and but the nice thing about directing and the creative process is that you can explore and put your own sort of flavours in, which, especially with Emily Brent, that's one of the ones that I've really sort of got that ingrained in. So
who governs you? There could be a time when you have an idea to develop a character where you're kind of crossing some kind of line.
Absolutely, that's governed, I think, very much so by the writing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Agatha Christie's piece, and I think you have to stay true, as I said, to what is written. I don't think you can go off on a completely different tangent. I mean, you're governed by rules and regulations with publishing companies anyway, of having to stay, you know, true to the writing. You can't suddenly just change lines.
For you, was it the future directing or acting?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I think I'd like to keep my hand in both. I'm really, really enjoying directing. This definitely will not be my last, and I really want to get, you know, into different genres and try out different things. I would love to do something where I can be that creative, that I can take something and put it in a completely different setting. It's just finding the right production.
Quite a little detective.
Got some fancy Christian names, hasn't he? Ulick, Norman, Owen. Quite a mouthful.
I'm obliged to you, Mr. Barster. You have drawn my attention to a curious and suggestive point. I think the time has come for all of us to pool our information. It would be as well for everybody to come forward with whatever information they have about our unknown host.
Yeah, I mean, when we start doing the play, I come on the blocking rehearsals, and I mark down what we need, like glasses or, you know, blanket for when Lombard comes in and he's wet, so he's got to dry himself, and a hypodermic syringe that Miss Brent has, you know, because she's the bee sting of the rhyme. And it's a hypodermic syringe. And it's just a case of getting together for rehearsal, just anything will do, really. You know, as long as they've got something to work with. But also for the actual production, looking into the period. We've got 1930s, 1950s, that period. It's very interesting to know, you know, you wouldn't use certain items. The Agatha period, as we call it. Looking into what bottles even they would use, or what decanters or anything like that. And I use the internet an awful lot. Most of the props I keep myself. I've got quite a big attic, and I've got it sort of segregated into china and material and you know, cigarettes and, you know, coffee sets, tea sets, you know, you name it. I can prop normally from a Dickens era up to the present day.
So your attic's full of
everything.
So where'd you get it all from? Where'd you source?
Oh, I go to charity shops. Yes, and I mean we've got a lot of We have some at the theatre, period pieces. I tend to I don't have much to do with costume.
Right.
And I don't have a lot to do with the furniture side of it.
Right, okay.
It's just the sort of
So
little
how did you get into all this sort of prop business?
Oh gosh. You're going back. My youngest son was about 14 when I started doing props for Bijou. He's now 34.
Right, okay.
So, and I've built up my stock through the years.
Gosh.
You know.
Yeah.
And,
what's your favourite prop?
Oh gosh, I don't really have a special prop. I think for the Agatha we do it every year, and there are certain things that are always on the set. Every year we have a sculpture,
right,
which is always there.
Uh-huh.
I have a cigarette box.
Uh-huh.
Which is antique, and that's always on the set, you know.
Yeah.
But my little touch, always, every production that I do, I have an owl on the set.
And what's the story behind the owl?
It's just me. I collect owls,
okay.
And every set. And sometimes you get a set where you really haven't got anywhere to put an owl. So last production we did, which was the farce, there were no surfaces at all. So I just put a brooch on the curtain.
Oh, right.
But there's always an owl, and the cast normally, before the production starts, will go around and look for the owl.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
How many owls have you got in your collection?
Oh, gosh. Last time I counted, which was about 5 years ago, I had 400.
That was the London and Commercial Bank robbery. I remember the name. That didn't come up before me. Lender was convicted on your evidence. You were the police officer in charge of the case.
I was, my lad.
Lender got penal servitude for life and died in Dartmoor only a year later. He was a delicate man.
No, he was a crook. It was him put the night watchman out. The case was clear from the start.
You were complimented, I think, on your able handling of the case.
Well, I got my promotion. I was only doing my duty.
Convenient word. Duty.
I'm Jill Farrant.
Jill. Now, Jill, I've got a little notebook here.
How nice.
Yeah, I feel like an old copper.
Oh, that is.
Jill Farrant.
That's me.
Owner.
But yes, it's
something like that.
Yeah, I actually own I don't own the building or anything like that.
No.
But I own costumes, furniture.
Okay.
And the sort of ethos of what the Bijou is all about was sort of bequeathed to me with the tangible stuff that I was
So let's just pull that apart, as they say.
Do.
So what's the ethos of the Bijou Theatre?
Ethos of the Bijou Theatre is that we do plays that we think the audience will enjoy. Whatever the play is, we try to do it the best we can, and we are totally unique in this area because we have no society. You can't join the Bijou to act like you do with Tops or Little Theatre or anything like that. We get a director, as we've got my goddaughter directing this play.
That's Sarah.
That's our Sarah, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then the director invites whoever they like to be in the play.
Oh, okay.
And you don't have to become a member to be in the play. You don't pay a performance fee.
I see.
You get the whole thing for nothing.
So this is like, so the people here, so Miss Emily Brent, Mr. William Blore, etc., they're all here by invitation?
By invitation, yes.
Where did that come from, the idea of, by invitation as opposed to by audition?
It came from our founder, Greta Huggins.
Okay. So and how far back are we going then?
Greta founded the Bijou in either 52 or 53.
Right, okay. So what was her background? Where was the spark then? Where did it all come from?
Well, she was interested in theatre all her life.
Right.
She had a chance to turn professional in she didn't.
Right.
It was, well, there was a Devonian playwright called Jan Stewart who wrote a play which became professional, and he could take one of his original cast with him, and it was a toss-up between Greta and this woman called Chloe Gibson, and Greta had a father to look after, so he took Chloe, who ended up running the Abbey Theatre in Dublin.
Okay.
You know, so she progressed theatrically. Greta stayed here. There was Greta, Helena, Dora and Bill, and they ran the Bijou, which was in a converted stable in Hyde Road. And they invited me to be in a play, and I was in it, and then they invited me to be in another play, and then I went away to drama school and trained, came back here to teach, and then they said, would you like to become part of the management?
So that's the sort of ethos, which is great, and I understand that. And then the other part of it was all the stuff. Was it the stuff?
The stuff, yeah.
And what is the stuff?
The furniture.
Yeah.
The costumes.
Okay.
The scenery.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I got this letter from her lawyers, you know, Greta's died, and she has left you all the fixtures and fittings of the Bijou.
Oh, I see. Gosh, that was a surprise.
I was. I remember I was in bed when I read the letter, and I thought, my God, what? And then,
wow. That's
it was actually.
That's a moment, isn't it? You kind of think,
it was.
Oh my Lord, what am I going to do now?
Exactly.
How exciting.
Yes,
but
it
also
was.
quite terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, because there was all that extra responsibility.
Do you think if it was in a stable, would that be quirkily attractive, or do you think it's better off being in a theatre?
Actually, that's a question no one's asked me before. I don't know. I think it would have lasted a while, but there are so many quirky theatres now that set themselves up as special arts places and barns and things like that. So probably it would have died because we couldn't have invested the money. We couldn't have done anything to make it more up to date, technically or anything.
No, quite. Did it still have like nose bags and stuff?
Oh.
No, it didn't.
Rotter. No, there hadn't been white horses in it for a long time.
No, I bet.
I beg your pardon, sir, but there's no boat on the island. No, sir.
Why did you telephone to explain that?
There's no telephone, sir. Well, Fred Narrowpaw, he comes over every morning. He brings the milk and the bread and the post and the papers, and he takes the orders, sir.
Cheers. Bye. Right, back on the old street. Leave the old Methodist hall behind. Another world out here. The world of reality, as opposed to the world of Soldier Island. So I'll let them get on with their work. They'll be there all day. But they all seem to, well, of course they do. They all seem to love it. I can see why. I mean, it's a lot of fun. You know, leave all your other thoughts behind and focus on something completely different, which requires all your attention. Can't skive off with half your brain doing something else. Yeah, that was nice of them to give me all that time. I mean, it's one thing giving up your time to go and do a rehearsal, and it's another thing giving up your time to come and talk to me. So that guy's still cleaning that car. Can you believe that? It's like 3 hours of cleaning. I'm surprised there's any car left. I mean, you could eat your breakfast off that car now. I think he's cleaned every surface. I might go past and tell him he's missed a bit. That was a How production for Sound Art Radio. For more details, please visit soundartradio.org.uk, iamthehow.co.uk. And thanks for listening.